So another FAQ that I had was BTC mining requires huge energy. If it were a country, it would be taking X amount of energy and would be sixth largest country in terms of energy consumption. So this is the FUD, right? So how do you view it?
Yeah, so that's interesting. And it's very important, okay? Because we are in a generation where, and I have a 6-year-old, so I know how I feel about leaving things for her, right? So obviously environment and sustainability and ESG, everything is super critical. But the difference is we're missing out on one core principle of human existence of the last 2000 years. It is energy for money. Think about it, right? If you were a farm laborer 1000 years back, what did you do? You worked 8 hours a day and you got something in return, whether it was whatever, depending on whichever part of the world you were. Either you got a barter, so you got something at the end of the harvest, say 3 months later, or you got something at the end of the day or week. So you basically gave your energy and you earned something which you wanted, which is fuel for your body. As the combustion engine came, you realize that, boss, I have a much more efficient way of doing this. Horses ka energy nahi burn karunga main carbon fuel ka energy burn karunga, right? So you took oil from the ground and you burnt it to essentially create work or create progress or make movement or whatever it was, right? To fuel an engine. So you went from human energy to carbon energy. So ultimately, energy for value or energy for progress is the most fundamental aspect of human society and evolution. You cannot delink those two. Can you imagine if I told you, ki boss, even if you look at, I'm going to take a step back, even if you look at what the future extreme example of the Matrix movies was, right? They were actually harvesting the energy of those humans to run what was the Matrix, right? So ultimately, आपको energy ही transform करना है. What we call as engineers will understand very well. I'm not an engineer, but I understand this is potential energy has to be converted into kinetic energy for work to happen. And ultimately, that's what we're doing in Bitcoin also. If you are agreeing that there is a value to it, you are agreeing to spend energy in one form and take back value in another form, which is Bitcoin in a wallet. Whether that it's exactly, and I am a coal miner by profession. So nobody understands this as inherently as I do, because when I spend money to mine coal, which is actually energy, right? It's literally kilocalories per ton I'm selling. So when you do that, you continuously evaluate what is the price of this energy today, how much money am I spending to get this out, and therefore is it profitable to make this trade or not. Which is to keep mining. And that's exactly what every Bitcoiner is doing. The only time it doesn't make sense is when the price of the energy is down. So if coal is down, I may stop my mine, or if Bitcoin price is down, I may stop mining my Bitcoin. The same also applies to gold.
Exactly.
If you count the amount of, because here it's a very simple power trade, you count, अरे ये तो इतना megawatt power ले रहा है, इतना gigawatt power ले रहा है, इतना kilojoules energy burn कर रहा है. But if you count the energy utilized for any mining industry, you will have to add the trucks, the people, the power, the processing, all of that, and you will realize it's equally energy intensive. It's just that it's not one straight line electricity in, Bitcoin out. It's 10 resources in, gold out, coal out, oil out, natural gas out. Therefore, you don't get that one equation in kilojoules or megawatts or gigawatts. You get it in dollars per ton.
Yes, exactly.
So ultimately, that is very intrinsic to me because of my profession, but most people get swayed by the way it is put by an influencer like Elon, who says it's high energy. It's not high energy. Every Tesla burns power, and that power is coming from either coal or natural gas. in most cases. I can assure all your listeners that it's coming from one of the non-green sources of energy, the power that is fueling his car every day.
So honestly, I couldn't agree more with you, because even though I have been a Bitcoiner for quite some while, this as a concept was really new to me when I was listening to conversation between Dr. Safedin and Jordan Peterson, and even Michael Saylor puts it very beautifully. He's like, Bitcoin is just transferring kinetic energy to monetary energy, and money
Correct.
or monetary asset is just a way for you to transfer that energy either to the future, because monetary assets are saleable across time. And that was mind fucking moment for me. मुझे लगा उस दिन मुझे दुनिया का सारा ज्ञान प्राप्त हो गया, because it was genuinely a
Exactly.
very profound concept. And another added thing that I learned in Jordan Peterson's conversation was that that is when Safedin said that Bitcoin is the only thing in the world which allows you to monetize energy even in the farthest part of the corners of the world. How? Because let's say if you are able to monetize एक झरने की energy, right? You simply can't transfer that electricity, because transferring में there is a lot of AT&C
Yeah.
costs and बहुत ज़्यादा loss होगा. The
And you
energy
have
that
infrastructure. You
you
need the
need
cable.
infrastructure, exactly. तो यहाँ पे you can't monetize it. The only way you can monetize that energy is through Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually solving that problem and allowing people out there to monetize their own energy. And that whole concept, I don't know how did I
Spot
get to
on.
know, and I just hope people understand it, because it's so fundamental. And I couldn't agree more with you, sir.